It was a quiet afternoon when I first discovered the truth. My heart raced, my mind went numb, and everything seemed to freeze in time. I had caught him in a lie, caught him betraying the trust one thought we shared. At that moment, everything I knew about our relationship felt like it had shattered into a million pieces. But, as the dust settled and the storm within me calmed, I realized something far more powerful than heartbreak was about to unfold. This wasn't just the end. No, it was the beginning. In the days that followed, I found myself standing at a crossroads. I had the choice to let the pain define me, to let the betrayal mark the rest of my life, or I could choose a different path, a path that would lead to healing, strength, and transformation. It wasn't easy. It was, in fact, one of the hardest things I had ever done. But I realized that in this moment of pain, I had the power to rewrite my story. And so, I chose to take control. Instead of sinking into despair, I decided to rediscover who I truly was. I remembered the person I was before the relationship, the dreams I had before I got lost in someone else's world. I made time for myself, for self-care, for activities that lit me up inside. I found strength in being alone, in reconnecting with my passions, and in reclaiming the parts of me that had been neglected. I also turned inward to focus on forgiveness, not for him, but for myself. I had allowed myself to believe in a version of love that wasn't aligned with who I was. I forgave myself for staying in a situation that didn't serve me, for ignoring the red flags that had been there all along. And with that forgiveness came freedom, the freedom to let go of the anger, the bitterness, and the resentment. In the midst of this journey, I began to see the truth. What had happened wasn't a reflection of my worth or my ability to love. It was a reflection of his choices, not mine. His betrayal wasn't a punishment, it was simply a lesson in disguise. I learned that my worth wasn't defined by anyone's actions, but my own. And with this new perspective, I started to thrive. I found strength in my friends, my family, and the people who supported me unconditionally. Their love reminded me of the beauty that still existed in the world, outside of the pain I had experienced. With their encouragement, I began to rebuild not just my heart, but my entire life. I poured my energy into personal growth, into becoming the best version of myself. I went back to school, I started new hobbies, and I even traveled to places I had always dreamed of visiting. And with each step I took, I became more confident, more whole, and more at peace with who I was. The betrayal no longer had control over me. It no longer defined me. What once seemed like an insurmountable obstacle had transformed into a stepping stone toward a better, brighter future. One of the most incredible realizations came when I realized that sometimes, the end of one chapter isn't a loss, but an invitation to start anew. The end of that relationship wasn't the end of my story, it was the beginning of a journey that would take me places I had never imagined. It led me to a deeper understanding of myself, my desires, and the kind of love I deserved, and through it all, I discovered something profound. True love begins with self-love. I learned to love myself fully, to honor my needs, and to set boundaries that allowed me to grow in a way that was healthy and empowering. I no longer sought validation from anyone else. Instead, I learned to validate myself, to believe in my own worth, and to create a life that I was proud of, on my own terms. Now, I look back at that painful moment of betrayal, and while it still stings in some ways, I see it as a gift. It taught me that I am resilient, that I am capable of healing, and that my happiness does not depend on anyone else. It taught me that I am enough, just as I am. So, if you're reading this and you're going through something similar, know that you are not alone. Know that this pain, while real, will pass. And know that there is a beautiful future waiting for you on the other side of this challenge. There is love, joy, and fulfillment waiting for you, and it begins within you. Take this moment as a chance to rediscover yourself, to build the life you deserve, and to embrace the incredible journey that lies ahead. You've got this.